I can't remember. I'm tired.
You guys
It's been
have
a
had
long 3 weeks.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, and we're back for episode 5 though. Small talk, tall tales,
Hey, let's go.
You
It's
guys-
nice to be back. Haven't been on the couch in a while.
I know.
and familiar surroundings in
Yeah.
America. This is nice, right?
I love it.
Speaking English.
Yeah, people
Can
speaking English.
understand
You
everything.
can go order a coffee in English, and you don't have to use Google Translate. I'm sure.
Oh,
That's great.
it's nice.
But-
I missed it.
I'm sure. I was like, I remember when I came back from Korea, it was like the greatest thing ever. It was just like, oh, just normalcy. Like it's familiar. So
Yeah, it's the comfort of just knowing that you kind of know where everything is and you don't have to worry about where you're going to get your next meal, where you're going to order, who you're going to talk to, who you're going to run into.
exactly.
All under control.
Yeah. But episode 5, we left off. You guys were getting ready to go to Paris. So you guys have gone to Paris now and come back. Came in 2nd place there. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You guys have had a nice little run in your last two tournaments. So we'll break down Paris a little bit. You guys can give any funny stories, good updates on that. And then we'll dive into the World Championships, which you guys just finished in 3rd place. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Man, Paris. Paris seems like it was like 2 months ago. Yeah,
For
it was
sure.
not. It was not that long ago. But I mean, Paris definitely had some good food. I'll let Taryn touch on what we had to get before leaving Paris.
Yes.
Honestly, Kristen was such a good teammate and friend.
I mean, I'm not. I wanted to get it as well, so it wasn't just Taryn.
Yeah.
But
okay, but it was like at the top of my list, and
Right.
we were about to fly out the next morning, and I was in bed and I was like, are you still up for getting up early and Ubering 45 minutes to a specific bakery that I want to go to because we went to it last year? And she's like, yeah, we can. And so we pack up all of our stuff. We're ready to go. And I can't get an Uber because it was pretty early. And
So this is the morning after you guys
this was
finished the tournament?
Yep.
yeah,
This is
and then we were
Monday-
flying
Monday morning.
we were flying straight to Mexico City that next day. And so I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I'm really sad because that is all I wanted, and I was looking forward to it all week. And Kristen's like, it's going to be okay, of course. She's super calm, and she's like, it's going to be okay. We're going to go eat breakfast, and then we're going to get an Uber from there, and then we'll go and get it, and then we'll be back, and then we can shuttle to the airport. She was right.
Voice of reason.
Yeah, always.
Always.
So 45 minutes, I'm like almost in tears when we arrive at the bakery, and I'm
From
like
joy?
so excited.
Dupont des Ides for everyone. That's the name of it. That's like the best place. Before we went last year, I like looked up. I was like, "What's the best place?" And it's like a escargot pistachio. It's escargot because it's
yeah.
shaped like a
Like a
little
snail?
snail.
Yeah.
And it's pistachio chocolate, and
What?
it is absolutely delicious.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
see.
the place to go to.
Say it again, the name.
Dupont des Ides.
That
I don't
was-
know. I don't know if I'm saying
that's
it
why I
correctly.
didn't. That's why I didn't say
It
exactly.
sounds great. It sounds
Just say it with
incredible.
confidence, and we'll think it's right.
Because I was going to hype you up over the name of it. Because I was like, I'm looking at it on the notes here, and I'm like, that's not what I would have done with it at all. So we're just going to let you say it because that was way better than what I would have came up
I
with.
don't know. We may have people in the comments being like, "You just butchered that," but you
Well,
know, it's-
sorry, it's delicious.
it is delicious. That's the place to go. I would definitely do it again, even though it was at like 5 a.m. But it was fresh.
It was fresh. You just walk in and the smells are just like, you look around, you're like, I know everything that I'm going to eat is going to be absolutely delicious. And you can just see them baking in. It's just, oh my gosh, it's so good. But on the way back, we sat out on like the little picnic table area, and I am just like
Just in
so
heaven.
happy. Yeah, like
just
that's
joy
all I wanted.
going through your whole body. And
And
so
then
is it like a cafe? It's like an actual cafe, like coffee shop, and then
Yeah.
they just have little pastries and whatever.
Oh, little pastries.
Yeah.
They're
Lots
big
of pastries.
and lots and delicious. But yeah, they have coffee. They have pretty much everything you could ever need. And I was looking to get an Uber on the way back, and I was like, uh-oh, because we had scheduled a shuttle to get to the airport
Yeah.
for our flight, for our 11-hour, 12-hour flight.
11 and a half hour flight.
Yeah.
Straight from Paris to Mexico, which was nice that we didn't have any connections, but it was also a little stressful. So we're sitting there in the Uber, and our arrival time is set for after we were
Paris
supposed
traffic
to
is
leave.
terrible. It's so bad.
I believe it.
It is
yeah.
so bad.
Yeah, so you took a couple wrong turns, and then the time just kept going up, and I
You're
would like
sweating.
look over at her, and he wasn't even driving like with two hands. Well, he had two hands on the wheel, but the one was on the horn the whole time, the other one was on 6, and he was just driving like this. It's like honking at people, and I was like, "What is going on?"
He was actually just playing a game with the other taxis, and
Yeah.
just trying to hit him with the horn. That's it.
It was It was rough.
But we made it, and
made
all
it.
the teams that we were supposed to shuttle with were all waiting outside with their bags, and we're like, "Please don't leave us! Please don't leave us!" And we
come
ran
like
upstairs.
we come like sprinting in with
And they
like
all hate
pastries
you.
in hand.
We had the pastries. That was the bad part where I was like, "Ooh."
You didn't give them to anybody either. They were for you guys. Yeah. You're
No,
like, we just
I
made
did
this
not
journey. Yeah.
share.
You guys are not
Absolutely.
having
That
any
was
of
that was
this.
our pre-flight snack.
How much of a wrinkle would it? I'm sure you guys checked this, but you guys Ubered 45 minutes and then realized it wasn't open because it was super early. You guys knew the details.
Oh,
Yeah.
we knew when it was
okay.
open.
Yeah. I was like, when you guys said 5 a.m., I'm like, that would be like a nightmare. I feel like of traveling and then being like, oh shit.
Yeah. We definitely we triple checked that one.
That's good.
Yeah. We set the schedule the night before. I woke up
planned
and
this.
even though we had just played a tournament, I like jumped out of bed and I was like, "Okay, let's go."
This is what we played the tournament for, so we can. we
It
can
really
go to this
is.
cafe.
Exactly.
Yeah,
We do
exactly.
set like at the beginning. We're like, "What are you playing for this weekend?" And hers is usually carrot cake,
Yeah, that's
sushi.
I mean, my mom made me a homemade carrot cake when we got home. She's never made carrot cake before, and she was like, "I know you love carrot cake. I made you this homemade carrot cake, which was delicious."
it was
You
good.
already finished it.
Oh,
I
Kristen,
think
is it gone?
Mama Nuss might not have another slice. Tell her to bring it tonight.
Oh, she actually.
We
probably-
landed yesterday, and how much carrot cake?
That's
was
why I
that?
want to
A
know.
lot.
I wasn't gonna put you on the block. Like when you landed, how much you ate in a short amount of
It
time.
was a lot consumed.
Well, clearly we're debating if the cake is still there.
I will say there's some left, but some being some.
That's
Last
very
night,
subjective. So
last
yeah.
night, Kristen's mom was like, "Oh, I could really use another piece," and her mom's like, "I think you're gonna be sick. Like you need
Are
to
you
stop."
sure?
She was like, "You probably should stop eating it." It's like,
Mom,
okay,
I've worked hard.
Yeah.
I deserve this
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
That's so great. It's like a mini off season, in between tournaments and stuff. Wait, are you guys done for the year now, or?
It's a fantastic question. We are signed up to play in the Brazil Elite 16. That's
Okay.
over Thanksgiving.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Would that be the last
suppo-
one?
And then World Tour Finals is in Doha at the beginning of December.
But there's a lot of craziness happening, so
Gotcha.
we'll see what happens.
A lot of shaking
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
But yeah, I
Gotcha.
don't know.
Well, good. All right. So world champions. Then we made it the flight from Paris to Mexico, and I feel like, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I felt like you guys were there for an eternity. Like when you just play 3 games or 3 days, I was like, I totally forgot that it was spaced out. I was like, oh, we forgot the game. I was like, oh wait, they don't play till tomorrow. We got time. Like,
Yeah, it was different. That was the first time we'd ever played in a tournament that was set up like that. And we talked about it's like easier on the body for sure because you're only playing 1 game a day.
Right.
But just mentally, you're like, you finish a game and it's like you have to wait 24 hours to play another game. It's like, oh my gosh. Like,
Yeah.
so just especially all of our games were in like afternoon, night. So the entire day you're just like sitting there like, all right, we have to play in 6 hours. All right, we have to play in 4 hours.
yeah.
So you're like trying to be mentally prepared, but also trying to get your mind off of volleyball, trying to move a little bit, but not too much that you don't have enough. It was the most mentally draining tournament I think I've ever been a part of.
But it was also nice having like our chill mornings where we would just go hit coffee shops, especially
Well, we had one coffee shop because we were in the middle of nowhere.
yeah. And her dad was there and also my cousin and her mom were there. So it was just nice to have like time to just chill and like chat with family and friends.
Yeah.
So that part of it was
That
nice.
was really nice.
You guys were on the pro baseball routine. That's like when I had to pitch, I had like anxiety all day. I'm like, I just want it to be the game, damn it. Like, I don't want to wait all day. Like, I just want it to go. Like, I
Yeah.
loved morning games for that reason. It was like, I didn't have to think about it all day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But that's pretty cool. All right. So you get to Mexico. Family was there. That's
Yeah.
nice. It was a week. How long were you guys actually there?
We landed on the
It was like 2 weeks, right?
second. We left on the 16th. Yeah,
And how many
exactly
days?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. And how many games did you guys play total?
8.
8. Okay. So wow. Yeah. So you have a lot of downtime.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, and we brought some hardware back. You guys came in 3rd in the World Championships, right?
We did.
So that's
Yep.
good. We actually have some trophies
guy.
behind you now, and we'll talk about those. But yeah, so you guys had some success. The other U.S. team won. Is that kind of weird for you guys when the other U.S. team wins? Like,
Yeah, I mean, well, I feel like we're kind of used to it now. There's just so many US teams that when you sign up for a tournament in like the final 8 teams, it's like half of them are USA, and then you always have to play USA teams. And it's like, it's great for USA because you know that one of your teams it's going to make it through. Yeah. So it's tough.
yeah, interesting. But how'd you guys feel about you guys playing out there? Was the altitude different too?
Oh my goodness.
My gosh.
Not to call you guys out, but I've never seen you guys like that, like breathing harder and shit like that.
Oh my
like
goodness.
It was
You should have seen, that was good.
So where
The first practice,
So the tournament was in 3 different cities, and I'm going to say this wrong, Umantla. That's where
Your face, you were like, you just mumbled into the mic. That was it.
Umantla.
Yep.
I don't know.
Just a bunch of sounds.
But that's where we were for pool play,
Okay.
and that place was 1,000 feet higher than Tlaxcala, where we ended the tournament. So we went there immediately from Paris, and the first day we were like fully there. We went for a practice. I have never
Practice
been
was 45 minutes. That's
more
Right.
winded, and we were just doing like serve receive, super light, and I was gassed. Like it felt like you like just could not get oxygen to your lungs. It was like
That's the trippiest thing.
I was like, Taryn, I'm concerned. Like I was like, I can't breathe. And
Both of us were so scared. I was like, there's no way I can play again. We both passed 1 ball and set 1 ball. That was it. And I looked over and I was like, are we going to be able to make it? And we were genuinely scared. Like we wouldn't be able to finish a game.
Yeah.
There was we scrimmaged another American team, and there was like a long rally. This was, I think, 2 days before we were actually going to play our first pool play game.
Yeah.
And we had a long rally, and I've never like felt like I was going to pass out. Like I've never passed out before. I was literally like, oh my gosh, I think I could pass out right now.
Oh
like
my God, yeah.
It was unbelievable.
I was like, please serve Taryn, please serve Taryn, please serve Taryn.
they did.
They did. I was like, thank God.
Yes.
But it really was. So on the fact that it was our first World Championships, and then on top of it, it was like, I don't know if we're going to be able to breathe during this.
But like that went into the game. So if there was a long rally and you had either the defender or the blocker was making a ton of moves and they were exhausted and you were going back to serve next, literally all you had to do was put the ball on them because it was kind of like they're dead right now.
Yeah, we know
like
how they're feeling.
I know how you are feeling and you can't breathe, you can't see, you can't do anything.
Exactly.
But it was definitely a benefit because then when we went to Tlaxcala for like the end and for playoffs and stuff like that, it definitely was significantly better. And we were definitely still breathing heavy, but it was not anything near the pool play matches.
But it was crazy just like seeing all these teams that you've watched in all these other tournaments and you're like, oh, they can just go for days. 1 play.
No, yeah. And that's the thing is like I'm so fascinated. I've always appreciated how I've played beach volleyball. It is, especially why I like beach volleyball, having 2 players only cover that ground. It's one of the most amazing things. And like just watching how you guys don't breathe hard normally, where I'm like, I hate them right now. They have to be in the best shape. So to see you guys actually look a little winded, I was like, this has got to be something different out there, a different beast. Yeah. So I was anxious to ask how that went. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so nice to breathe right now. Do you feel this? Do you feel this
I can
below
go in the
sea
nose,
level?
I know, it goes down into my belly. Yeah.
Oh
That's
my
so
goodness.
crazy.
Yeah, that was wild.
Wild. And we were playing in bull rings, like everything in Mexico. It was just like we have never done any of this. We have never seen any of this, and it was so. Cool.
The Mexico
Stadiums looked
crowd.
cool.
It was sick. There was so much energy.
Yeah.
Like those people.
Chaparrita.
Yeah, talk to me a little bit about that. Let's go. You guys had some nicknames, like the
Heck, I'm
fans were
sitting
crazy.
on the couch with the beach Barbie right here.
Stop it. Chaparrita is the most famous human being walking out of Mexico. Everywhere we would go, we would walk by and there would just be like tables of people eating outside. Chaparrita, chaparrita, chaparrita. She'd be like, hey.
Let's go.
It really was. You would just see people and they'd be like, Chaparrita.
That's
Yay, thank
incredible.
you.
I think we need to make your sports cards with those nicknames on
Oh
them.
my
like,
goodness.
That's 100%.
That
probably.
would be hilarious.
It is kind of a fun name. I mean, Chaparrita.
Can you tell everybody what it means?
Yeah, what does that actually mean?
Isn't it just like shorty? Like it basically means like a short.
Like short little girl.
Short
a short,
girl.
yeah. And so many people like Instagram DMs, they were like, I hope you take this. It's like a term of endearment. It's not like like bad.
Yeah, like we respect that you're a short little girl and you're doing this a great feat. Yeah, exactly.
No, it was definitely.
She was like walking around Mexico and she's like, take a video. I'm taller than all these people.
I know. For the first time, I was like, oh my goodness, I kind of feel tall. Like this.
And so she's
this
walking
nice.
with her shoulders back, like walking through the crowds of everybody, and she's
incredible.
like, "Do you see this? I'm taller than you."
Like, get video evidence that I'm above the crowd right now. Just make sure that we have that on film. Yeah.
Seriously.
That's incredible.
So it is on film.
And you were the Barbie, yeah.
Yeah. You should tell them how you found out that you were the Barbie.
Oh, I feel like you do a much better job.
It wasn't the announcer.
So
doing
we were actually.
No, well, okay, so you can't hear in the bull ring. It was very loud and there was a ton of energy, but we couldn't hear on the court. Really.
Yeah, we had no idea. At some points, I was like, "Am I supposed to go out? Did they say my name?" I was
we
like,
had no idea,
Oh,
and it was
really?
just
That's
like a really
interesting.
weird like echo, and then it was super like I don't know.
Like you couldn't hear the announcer or the crowd or both.
Mainly the announcer, like
The
whenever they
crowd
would
you could
talk on the
hear, but-
microphone. Yeah.
Okay.
It also kind of depended on what bull ring we were in.
Yeah.
But the way we found out that she was beach volleyball Barbie or whatever, we were getting treatment with the USA providers, and we're both like, there was 2 of them, so we're both on a table. And Scott, who was one of them, he was like, Taryn, did you hear they like announced you as, it was like Taryn, the beach Barbie Kloth? And Taryn was like, she's like on the table, she's like, what?
I literally like cramped turning to look at him. I was like, what?
Oh
She was
my
like
God.
so excited. And then he goes on, he's like, yeah, and they played that like Barbie song like 7 times. And Taryn, and he's saying it as like oh my gosh, now I can't hear it again. And she's like, I know, I loved it. And he's like, oh, okay.
He's like, oh.
Okay. He's like, oh god.
Total judgment.
Yeah.
Total judgment.
But she is just like so ecstatic, like I loved it. And yeah, every single time the Barbie song comes on, she like lights up and is like, this is my jam. And then
Yeah.
the DJ will like be like, yeah.
Let's go.
So it was, yeah.
He probably saw your
loved
reaction
it.
and was loving it and was just like, I'm going to keep playing this.
repeat.
She's dancing.
Repeat.
The amount of people though that were like, they just kept playing the Barbie song like so many times, and every single time she's like, yeah, I know.
I think we need to brand that. That's got to be a thing. Like, you got to get a Barbie deal, something. We got to get
Oh
it.
my gosh, that would be
her
so.
dad got a Barbie.
So my dad was playing arts and crafts, and
I mean, I saw his hat. That thing was legendary.
yeah. So we got like these towels, and he's like, Taryn, is it okay if I like cut your towel? I'm like, I'm doing, and I was like, you know what?
Whatever makes
Have
you
a
happy.
blast.
Yeah.
Like whatever you want to do. And so we walk into the game, and the guy that says, I don't want attention, has a giant poncho and a huge sombrero. He put Kloth and Nuss on it with a little USA flag. Everybody was loving it. Like everybody was asking him for pictures. And he's like, oh, sure, I guess. Oh,
I hate the attention.
yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, what are you talking about? Every single point, everyone was texting me about the game, but they weren't saying anything about the game. They're like, your dad is awesome. Your dad was so funny. Like everyone loved it.
incredible.
His vibes were
Yeah.
at an
He does
all-time
have
high.
he does have high vibes.
Yeah.
He's a high vibe kind of guy.
Yeah, he's just trying to have a good time.
I mean, even your pictures. I mean, the picture in the tunnel with all, we were like, look at him with all his friends. He couldn't get in the picture because there were so many people that he wanted to make sure he included.
exactly.
I
Yeah,
love that.
he went on a hot air balloon ride. He is deathly scared of heights. Like what was he doing? He went and like
He rode a bull?
he rode a bull.
Well, he sat on a bull.
Well,
Like a live
it was,
bull
it
or
was
like
like
a mechanical bull?
it was a
It
real
wa-
bull
neither.
that was like stuffed, right?
Yeah. It
Like
didn't
a
move.
taxidermy?
It
Gotcha.
didn't
Oh,
move.
taxidermy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So at one point it was alive.
It was
Yeah.
supposed to move. It didn't move with him on it, but yes, it was
He was
supposed
too
to
big. They
move.
were like, you got to get off, actually, dude.
Yeah.
Oh god.
He's like, it was the best 30 pesos I've ever spent.
30 pesos. That's how big's your dad again? He's tall, right?
Yeah, he's like 6'9", like a solid 300 pounds, like just a big dude.
Wearing a sombrero and a poncho. That's incredible. They were probably
Yeah.
like, yeah, get on the bull. Get off the bull. You broke it. Like, no.
Take it
Never
back.
mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
My
And the
gosh.
stadium smelled like a bull ring? It actually did?
I
When
think
you were
under,
down,
yeah.
yeah, like underneath in like the little tunnels and stuff, that definitely smelled.
Yeah, the initial walk in, you're like, okay,
Yeah.
I smell like animals a little bit, but then after you're like,
You're used
You
to
get
it.
used
fine.
to it.
Yeah.
I didn't know if the air that you actually could breathe in was just smelling like bull crap.
We didn't get any air anyway. So
No air anyway.
Hey, I didn't
yeah.
care at that point. I was like, give
Like,
me all,
any
give
of
me
it. I don't
every
care
all
what
of
it smells like.
Yeah.
That was
Seriously.
great. And they had fireworks after every play is what you said or something?
Oh my gosh.
What?
So literally it was
We're gonna
day,
sound so dumb saying
Why?
this.
it was day one of being in Huamantala, and she's on the FaceTime with her mom. We're going to like find water, and where our hotel was, it was kind of like in the middle of nowhere. Like, so us walking to go get water, you're just like walking along the road, like the
No
side of the road.
sidewalk.
No
That
sidewalk.
statement,
Dirt
that
road.
statement in 2023 is hilarious. Like, we had to go find water. Like,
We did.
we were walking on the road. Like, it's
Yeah.
just crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was eventful. And as we're walking, she's on the phone, and we're like just talking, and all of a sudden we hear this like
Bang,
boom. We're like,
It was 2.
we're like, what the heck was that?
I go, we just got shot. I was like, Mom, I gotta go.
Are we okay?
We might have
Like-
just got shot.
So we're like, okay, I guess
sure your mom
that's
loved that.
normal.
She is
Yeah.
so scared.
Yeah.
We just go about our day, and then all of a sudden it was like an hour later, and we just keep hearing the same. Like, it was just about like every hour. It sounded like a loud bang, sounded like fireworks, like gunshots. We were like, we don't know what's happening. And then later on, we found out that it was, you asked them one, and
I had a Google Translate. I was like, what are these loud noises that keep going off?
Yeah.
And they would go off at like 5 a.m. too. Like, it was like, why are we doing this?
And she typed in something that Google Translate translated it to pyrotechnics trials. So I'm thinking we are out by like a firework type place.
Manufacturer maybe, and they're just like trying.
However, we were also told
every hour.
We were told by 2 different people with the organization that it was fireworks to keep the rain away. I don't know what that is.
I don't believe that.
At opening ceremonies, there were a ton of fireworks, and it rained on us. And it also rained like every single evening. So obviously not a valid.
Also,
it wasn't working.
It was not working.
That's what they were doing it for.
If people knew that fireworks kept rain away, we would all have fireworks all the time.
Yeah, we would never.
Like, I was like, that is so not true. I'm from Louisiana. It rains like just about every single New Year's, and there's a lot of fireworks that go off. 100%. So I was like,
and so they kept telling us this, and we're like, are you guys messing with us? Like, what is going on?
They're like, we're gonna mess with these American girls.
But like the amount of people that said the same thing that weren't next to each other, and we asked at different times. That was the weirdest part.
Right,
we were confused. But then, we learned that it was fireworks and not gunshots or whatever.
That's good. Your mom could sleep.
Yeah. So well, I think we scared her too, because I was like, there's a bunch of guys with giant guns following us around, and she's like,
oh, okay. What was that? You guys had guards on the as chaperones?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So we were at the Umantla venue, and it was like an entire resort. But if you would go outside the resort, there was guys with guns sitting in a car, and if you needed anything, like they were there to like protect us, which was scary and cool. And we actually, like, when we moved to Tlaxcala, my dad had to come grab something for me in our hotel, and we had no idea that the guards were even there. And because we just like walk in, we have our credential. People know that we're probably volleyball players, but he's like a big dude walking in the middle of the night, and he's like walking by, and he's like, Taryn, can you just come out and bring it to me? I was like, I'm tired. I don't want to get up. And he was like, okay, fine. So he comes in, and as soon as he walks by this like little door, somebody pops out with a gun, and they like try and stop him.
And he was explaining the story. He was like, whoa.
Sorry. Yeah.
So
they had to like call somebody to call us to be like, oh, is this guy okay to come in? And so we were protected for sure, but we just we didn't even know that they were there sometimes.
Which it was nice that in the hotel in Tlaxcala, they were only letting athletes in, because as soon as you walked outside of the hotel, the amount of people that were like, can we get a picture? Can you sign an autograph? And as soon as you sign one, it is just like mass chaos, and you're there for like 20 minutes. So it was like so hard to like, even just like in the mornings, like going to get coffee, or at night going to get dinner. It was like, all right, how do we get from the hotel to the 5-minute walk to the restaurant and get there in like under 30 minutes?
Right. And there were people just waiting to try to get pictures.
Outside of our hotel, nobody was allowed to stay at this hotel except for players.
Wow.
So they're all just sitting there with their ball and their marker. And you want to like go and talk to the kids or like take pictures or sign. But like she said, as soon as you did one, there was like 50. And there were some people that just like had a bag full of balls or things to sign. And they would like keep handing you things. And you're like, I want to, you want to like talk to other people, and you don't want to have to sign like 50 balls for one person. That was just like, it was so hard to be like, no, I have to stop. I have to go eat, or I have to go play.
Yeah. That's what we were like. Can you imagine being Taylor Swift? It was like, how does she
Kristen
do like
said that?
It was like, oh my gosh. Cause that's
Chaparrita was pretty popular.
No, but I mean, the stuff that like she has to go through, just like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine after that, like, and what we did wasn't even anything compared to what she does.
But like, we genuinely would not go to a restaurant or go certain places because we were like, this is right in the middle of the crowd. We don't want to go that way because we're going to be there for 3 hours and we want to be laying down getting ready.
Sometimes I was like, maybe if I just let Taryn walk ahead of me, I can just like hoodie up and no one will recognize me. But like,
I just put my head down and I would just like walk as fast as possible.
What'd you do? She faked a phone call one time.
I did do that.
Yeah.
That was mean.
That's all right. Sometimes, hey, it's also your job too, right?
That was like the hard part. I was
Yeah.
like, we have to
Yeah.
go.
It's your job. Like it
Yeah.
is a weird thing. It's real.
Yeah.
But then you feel like a horrible person.
Because you're super thankful. Like,
Yes.
literally, the people came to our event, like, and they showed up, which was absolutely fantastic for the sport, and the fact that people tuned in and the stadium was full. That was fantastic, and we really did. We signed so many autographs, took
to
so
the
many
point
pictures, but
where both of our arms were falling asleep because to like reach up, well, for her especially, but like to reach up for like in the bowl ring, you're at the bottom and you're just like constantly reaching up and grabbing phones and like taking pictures. And some people posted those pictures that I took, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm sorry." Those are bad. But it was a lot. And yes, we were so thankful. But at what point are you just like, okay, it's 10:30. We had to get an escort one time because we couldn't get out of the bowl ring. And so we had somebody take us around the back way. And then, you disappoint so many people because they're just like, and you're like, oh, I'm sorry.
And it's so awkward because you signed for 20 people, but then that one person that's right there, that's 21, you're like, oh, I'm sorry, dude. Like,
where do you start?
That was tough.
It was always tough in the minor. Like that would happen to us when we were playing ball too. It was like, but in the minor leagues, it's like they're only there for a few players too. So it was like really weird because you try to go out certain doors and stuff, and they're the ones that are being hawks and they're actually trying to sell it and make money,
Oh, yeah.
So it was so weird, but it was like the same thing. You're like, I appreciate it. This is the reason I get paid to sign autographs is because of people like you know, like. But and especially when it's your job, that's the thing that I think people forget is you guys are there for business, for work, for certain things. You guys are trying to accomplish a certain goal. Yes, the fans are important and obviously come out to the games and stuff, but there's got to be a balance, and that's the hard part for you guys.
For sure. Especially the people who are like by the warm-up court are just like constantly like yelling your name as you're like trying to like warm up and get prepared.
No, they're not yelling your name. They're saying girl, 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 girl. Like 16
it's just like
times.
we're trying to get like locked in. It's like it's all about finding that balance for sure.
Yeah, the escort helps though, and like or having a manager or somebody, right? Like that's a huge thing to be like, hey, you have to be the bad guy right here. Sorry, like
and it's so nice when they are.
Right.
Oh my gosh,
Oh my goodness.
Wait, the golf cart ride?
I was literally thinking that. So the training court, it was like a 5-minute like golf cart ride to the actual bull ring, and the way it worked, it was literally a straight up golf cart, and one person would like sit in the front seat, and the other person would stand on the back and just
that's incredible.
hold on.
So fun.
So at first, Taryn's in the back, and as we're like driving, there's like some wires that are just like holding stuff up for the tournament.
No.
And Taryn is like
ducking,
literally dodging it because the next time I went on and I could just fully stand up on it. However, the wire was like pretty close. So after I was like, oh my goodness, Taryn, you actually really had to like duck and like look out because you would have gotten taken out.
I was doing like full squats and like dip, duck, dodge, dive, like every single
But it was so fun
court.
because the very first time we did that, our driver kept like, he was like so excited to be the driver that he kept stopping because people were taking pictures, and he's like over here like smiling and also and we're like we need to get to the venue. Like the whole point is that it's like efficient and getting to the venue, and this guy is just like enjoying the moment. He's trying to take selfies with us as he's driving. We're like, oh my goodness,
and
what is
there's like
happening?
lines of 200 people, 300 people trying to get into these stadiums. Like they were packed. And
it was his moment.
He was just like,
it was his moment.
Hi,
he was
everyone.
like, I've never had somebody this famous on my golf cart. That's incredible. Is that the reason you guys missed the or did you guys miss a shuttle completely?
Oh my gosh. Wait,
Oh
that
no,
was
in Umantala. So they had it in Umantala. It was like actual cars. It was 2 cars that each team got into, and they took you to the venue. But we are about to play the Lithuania team. It was our second game in pool play, and we're like, all right, time to go. They tell you like, hey, the game's over. Time to get in the car. And they couldn't find one of the drivers. They're like, the car is locked. Where's the driver? We were like, we don't know where the driver is.
And of course it was our car.
Yeah, the Lithuania team's like sitting in the other car.
They're buckled up.
They're all ready to go.
They're just
but they
waiting
go
on
at the same time because you get a police escort.
Yeah.
And after like 5 minutes, we're literally just like standing outside the car.
We're taking pictures.
People keep coming up
signing.
and asking us to take pictures, and we're like, oh my, we gotta go. Like it literally, people just coming in, and all of a sudden, finally, Sean Scott, who's the director of USA, he was like, how about the athletes just get in this car, and all the coaches and stuff will walk her. We'll wait for the driver.
The Lithuanian coaches out of the car.
The 2 Lithuanian coaches get out, and we get in with the team. So it's
you're
literally
about to play.
that we're about to play. I'm like
this close.
thigh to thigh with the other defender, and it's just like awkwardest like 5-minute car ride with the team that you're like literally about to play. They're speaking in their own language, so we have no idea what they're saying. And obviously, if we
and
talk,
I'm in the front seat, so Kristen's back there by herself, and I'm like,
but
you got this, right, homie?
But that's the part where it's like, man, it sucks that everyone speaks English, because I'm like, if we say something, everyone's gonna know.
Exactly.
They were talking, we had no idea what they were saying.
Yeah.
But it really was. I was literally thigh to thigh, like
Just
it was.
cursing you guys out in their native language. Yeah.
But it was like, wow, yeah, this is something.
we were like, yeah, nice. Our car is just gone.
Yeah.
Our driver is just gone.
Boy, that's an experience. Like,
It
that's
was-
crazy. Rolling up with the opponent, just that's incredible.
That is the hard part of beach volleyball, especially because there are so many. You see the same teams over and over at all these events in different locations, where it's like you're friends, like you want to talk, like
Right.
you don't really have it. Like I have Kristen to hang out with all week,
Yeah.
and that's fine for me because like that's all I do anyway. But like for these other teams, it's like, are we going to be friends? Are we going to hate each other? Like what's your vibe? Because I'll just match that. I don't
Right,
really know what's
exactly.
going on.
Yeah.
And the language barrier doesn't help either, too. Like when
Yes,
you guys don't.
that is hilarious because there's one team. So I think it's the team from the Netherlands. She was like telling me a joke, and then she said something, but the joke didn't translate well,
Yeah.
and I was like, I don't get it. And she
I
was
think
like,
this is the funny part.
yeah, her and the other people, they were all laughing. I was like, huh. And she's like, you didn't get it, and I was like, no.
Yeah, over my head. Yeah.
She's like, yeah, it didn't translate very well.
Yeah.
At least she tried, though. She
Yeah.
went with a
Oh my
joke,
gosh.
though.
Yeah,
That's
no, she's-
interesting.
That's what
She's
we're always
awesome.
so impressed. Like
Yeah.
when these other teams can speak English, it's like, man, mad props to you. Like
Yeah.
we only speak one language. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
At least you're trying. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
even have an attempt to go
Yeah.
back at you at. You know, I'm sorry.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Or like when we're practicing with these other teams and the coaches are running the drills and we don't know what the drills are until about halfway through because
You're like, now we're putting the pieces
yes,
together.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. And then Cuba was having. Tell me about this one. So you kind of dipped into it before we flip the cameras on, but I need to know the story.
gas pedal. That's
Yes.
what they were
Gas
playing.
pedal.
Gas pedal, like that one.
So we moved from our Homantala into Tlaxcala, and it was a new hotel, and we get there and it's like 9:30, and we're like, it was a long like day of just getting from Homantala to Tlaxcala. It was like an hour bus ride, and
The bus
whatever.
was an hour late, and so we were standing outside of the hotel for literally an hour and a half with all these other teams.
So we were just in our hotel room, and after a solid like 30 minutes, we were just starting to get a little annoyed because Cuba, we think it was Cuba. We don't fully know.
think.
Literally right next door to us, and they are just blaring the music. Like, and it sounded like Club Cuba was
Wow.
happening
Yeah,
like
exactly.
next door to us. And
I
we
can
were
imagine the
like-
Spanish
it
music.
was
Yeah,
good vibes,
you want to
like-
dance a little bit,
Yeah.
but you're also annoyed.
yeah, at the beginning you were like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, I like that song.
Yeah,
like,
good
good
for you
job.
guys.
Yeah.
Gasolina, gas pedal, like all of the clubs, like they were
But then
just
it got like at 9:30, 10 o'clock, we were like, all right, we're getting a little tired, and you like go to like lay down, and it is just like
Banging on the wall.
blaring. And they're also like, I don't know if they were talking or
No, they were
singing,
screaming.
but you could also hear them, and it was just like, oh my goodness, like what do we do? Like we need to go to sleep, like. And
Spanish culture is no joke too, in the sense of like the way that they party, their music, they talk loud too. Like that's tough. That's a tough ticket being right next door to that.
yeah, it
You
was.
guys battled it.
Yeah, we made it through. But it was so fun. We were just like, what in the world? I think we have a video of it. Like I sent it to my
our
mom.
doors were what's it called? Conjoining rooms.
Oh
Yeah.
no,
That was the other part where it was like, okay, now you have literally this much space in between each
Yeah,
other,
that's
and then
tough.
that made it even worse and louder.
yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
tough.
they were having a good time. I mean,
Yeah.
good for them.
That's good. You guys overcame it though. So
Yeah,
was that the when you guys were actually in the tournament?
Yeah.
Or like I don't,
Yeah, yeah.
not the
That was
non-pool
before
play?
quarterfinals.
Yeah,
Yep.
quarterfinals. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. And so
Round
you
of
guys
32, but
Yeah, you guys did well this tournament. You guys went 3-0 in pool play, right? It was 3-0,
Yep.
and then one
round of
three-
32, round of 16,
Yep.
quarters.
Corners,
Semifinals.
Semifinals. Yeah.
and then you guys. So how does that work for the third? You guys play a third place game then, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the tough one. That is
is
always
How do you?
a hard
yeah.
one.
I feel like it's-
100%. We were talking to our sports psych, and he was like, "Congratulations! Like that is the hardest possible medal to win." And I was like,
Thank
"It
you.
really is."
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you're like, thank you for validating that. Because to get up for that game, I got to imagine is frustrating, annoying, like, but at the same time, your competitive nature is there, right? And you're like, no, we're gonna win this
Yeah.
shit, like, you know.
And we started, the first set was rough. It was rough.
Who'd you guys play in that one?
Played the Australians, Clancy and Maria Faye.
Yeah.
And yeah, they put it to us the first set, and so it was even more like literally we lost the semis. Then it was like, oh my goodness, we just lost this first set. It's like, no, we did not freaking make it to Sunday.
Exactly.
To not come home with something.
Let's go.
It was like, let's go.
What was it, 18-16?
It was we were down 18-16 in the second set. And it was funny because Drew texted us after and he was like, y'all picked a good time at 18-16 to actually like start playing like you guys.
But I do remember in that, it was because I don't remember much from games, but I do remember it being 18-16. I looked at the score and I was like, no way, no. And I just remember from that point on, it was both of us. I don't know if we both saw the score, if it was just like a vibe thing, but I was like, this is not happening. No.
I love that.
And then from there on, it was like, okay, now we can play like ourselves again. But it really was just such a challenge to be so defeated. And it was a night game the night before. So you're already like angry, but then you're like, I really have to sleep.
Quick turnaround.
But then you think about it so much and then you're like trying to prep for the next team. And it's just like, that's a tough game.
One. Yeah, no, it's not easy. But I think that's, what we talk about greatness, where greatness comes from is the great ones figure out ways to drop that L, and bounce back. And even in the match to be able to have that wherewithal to be like, no, we're stopping this now. We're changing it. And you guys did. So you got to bring home a third place, right? World Championships. That's got to feel good. Your first World Championships coming third.
Yeah, it does. It's when you like say it like that, it's like, oh my goodness.
Change has to be there.
Right.
It really is. It's like, wow, we did come home with a bronze medal in our first World Championships. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like perspective is everything on the journey. And that's like, sometimes you got to take a step back in the journey to understand it, but like the big picture, like, you guys are doing it. And that's where, again, you never want to go there for third place, but to be like, if somebody told you before that, you'd be like, we take that. Like, that's a win.
That's what I said last night before we went to, I was like, you know what? Obviously I wanted gold. Obviously I'm a little disappointed. Like anything less than winning, everybody's going to be disappointed.
Right.
But it's also kind of like, okay, if we would have told ourselves last year at this exact time, like you're not going to be playing in Worlds, but next year you will, and you're going to get a bronze medal.
Yeah.
Like we would have been ecstatic.
Right.
Yeah.
And what overall in the tournament, 6-1 or something? Like you lose one game, right?
Yeah, 7-1.
7-1, yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
literally all the people on the
some
podium
good teams too. Yeah.
have the same record.
Who is the?
That is crazy.
Wow. Yeah. Who came in second? Who they play in the finals?
Brazil.
Yeah, Brazil.
Oh, that's right. They had to beat Anna. Right?
The people that beat us in
Patricia.
Paris.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much in the top 5, right? Though you guys are number 1 in US.
Yeah.
Where are you guys 2 in the world?
2 in the world.
Anna, Patricia.
They were 1.
Number 1.
Hughes and Chang are 3.
3. So it really was just kind of
literally
like
just all of That's got to be so crazy though.
Yeah.
So for Olympic standings, right? You said that doesn't. So US does something a little different, right? Where that just guarantees US a bid, but we knew we were probably going to send 2 teams there anyway, right? To the Olympics.
Correct.
Yeah.
So the federation gets
okay.
the Olympic bid that you get for winning world champs.
Gotcha. Yep. Okay. But they don't necessarily. It doesn't mean that team is necessarily going, right?
Correct.
Okay. So that's good.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I think there was like a big vote about it, and it was just kind of like, how can you say that one team gets to go because they win one tournament when it's an 18-month long process of trying to qualify? So how can one tournament get you in when everybody else is fighting for 18 months? So it was just kind of like a big federation decision with all the players in agreement for the most part. I'm pretty sure.
That's good. No offense to Alex, because I know what she's done, her pedigree and all that, but like for them, like that's what I was nervous about. I was like, if they just get hot or lucky or whatever, right, and they win this, it's like they haven't been doing what you guys have been doing for the last 2 years, and like building a resume and stuff. So I always thought that was kind of weird. So that makes me feel better that at least it's just a bid for the federation. That's good
for sure. Yeah.
So good job, USA.
Yeah.
And so while we added some hardware here, so while we're on you guys got to bring a medal home from the World Championships. But what are all the other ones? And we couldn't even fit 2 of them in there. Like, I don't even know. We have 2 that are sitting out, 2 medals that are sitting out. But you guys got a cowbell in the middle. Talk about that
Belle.
first.
Bell.
Okay.
B-E-L-L-E.
Yeah, I was gonna say spell it right.
B-E-L-L-E. This is Belle.
Make sure we distinguish.
Yeah. No.
And that thing is heavy.
Yeah.
It makes some serious noise.
It is
does.
definitely heavy.
Walking into the store, some dogs started barking when I brought the bell.
You brought it in. Lila went nuts on it. She was like, "What is that? Is it a new toy?" She was excited about it.
Yeah. But yeah, that one's Kushadasi. That was Turkey. That was like our first big
that
win.
changed our path.
Yeah, that was our first big win.
Really? Okay, so explain that. What does that mean? So it changed your path for what?
We were just trying to get into, so it goes Futures, Challenge, Elite 16s, and Futures, you win 400 points. If you win the whole thing. In Elite 16, you win 1,200 points. Challenge is 800. So it just keeps jumping up. And we should not have gone from one Future into a Challenge event. And we went one Future, we won that. And then we got into a Challenge event, and then we got into this event somehow. I still have no idea how we got into that. We had to qualify for that, but it was awesome. And then we won that event. And after that, it was just kind of,
let's go.
If you win 800 points, like that really does bump
mix.
you up. And then we got into Elite 16s by the end of that year, which we had no idea. Like, you try and like guesstimate what you can like maybe do and make your schedule. We didn't think we were actually ever going to get into Elite 16s last year. I don't think.
I love it.
We didn't even that wasn't even on my mind.
No.
So
not that early. Not that early. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
That guy.
That's the one that changed everything. I love it.
Yep.
And so, all right. So, I always ask about this Olympic stuff. So each tournament, you have a chance to win a certain amount of points, right? And then at the end of, when do they cut off the points and decide who's going to the Olympics?
June 9th of 2024.
So you guys can play in as many tournaments as you want.
You just have to play in 12. The lowest amount to qualify is 12 events. So we're at 10 right now.
Gotcha.
So we have to play in 2 more to qualify.
Gotcha. And at some point when you have a certain amount of points and you're kind of sitting, I don't want to say ever pretty or comfortable, but do you then like pick and choose certain tournaments to go to based on, hey, we don't want to travel this much, we want to save some energy here, we want to do this there?
So everybody's recommendation is, or not recommendation, but obviously it's like qualify as soon as you can, or like get as many points as you can, so that you don't, like, if you need to have a break, or if say something happens and you can't go to this event, you don't have to like put all of your focus on one thing and be like, okay, if this doesn't happen, we have no shot. So it's just kind of like continuously adding as many points as possible, because once you get to 12, the only slots that you drop are your lowest ones.
Right.
So it's not like you could ever push out a big one.
Right.
And then it turns into also your seeding for the Olympics. So it doesn't only turn into like, okay, we qualified now. It's like, okay, we got to get a good seeding for the Olympics, because that makes a huge difference.
Because everything else is a draw.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's interesting too. So you're literally playing for seeds. Like, so even if you qualify, you're not like, who cares? Like, whatever. Yeah. Like, you want to try to, wow.
Yeah.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's not complicated, but there's a lot of layers to it, and then with the 3 different tiers of the tournaments, it's like, I never know how many points are getting you what and all that stuff. I just know, I tell them all the time, like, we just want them to win as many tournaments and place as many as they can, just get as many points as they can. That's it.
Yeah.
Seriously. We want more of those guys.
I think the only thing we're like, okay, points. That's like the most important thing. Like when you win a tournament, like that's the biggest thing that you're worried about, is pretty much the points. But yeah, definitely want more of those shiny little gold ones.
Yeah, the gold ones are the nice ones. We like those. That Atlanta one though is pretty sick. The matte black though, it's it's kind of
nice.
pimp. Yeah.
And Atlanta is just such a special place for us.
Yeah.
Like that's where that was our first one.
Yep.
The Atlanta Open in 2021.
Yep.
Also a huge game changer for us.
That
I walked in that tournament. I couldn't probably breathe. But I was just like, oh yeah, we're gonna go do as good as we can.
Didn't you guys have to qualify? Because don't you have to do that for AVP too? Like in the beginning, I don't even know what it's called. But yeah.
I just wanted to qualify. That was my goal.
Yeah, well, you guys did that shit.
Yeah, that was fun. Fun.
You guys had a nice little crew there too, and it's always fun. Yeah. So yeah, they stepped up their trophy this year. I like this one better. This 2023 one. Yeah. So maybe can you guys win it again next year? So just go ahead and do that. We'll just put it on the schedule. Yeah.
Yeah. AVP is over. That's the other thing with points is everybody talks about, they're like, oh yeah, you just won the AVP. Like, how does that work with the Olympic points? It's like, hey, 0.
No, it doesn't matter at all.
So
everybody always thinks that. Yeah, I'm like, no, they're 2 different tours. Like they're completely different leagues, all that stuff. So AVP's done.
AVP is done now officially
this year. Yeah.
Did you guys win the overall points? Were you guys number 1?
That's a fantastic
that's a good question. I don't know.
But I guess because you guys didn't have the World Championships, you didn't really, or the not World Championships, the AVP finals or whatever championships.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll look that up. That's good. I think you guys did. Number 1 in our hearts. That was it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other? What's the churros at the end of the Mexico tournament? What?
Oh, so you know, like the cafe in Paris that I really wanted to go to?
Okay, so churros were the move.
We walked past this churro place every day and we're like, do you smell that?
Yeah, they smelled so good. So we had to get one, obviously. I mean, we were in Mexico.
Yeah.
Had to.
But it's
They were
again, it's like
delicious.
the one thing that you like look forward to after the tournament. And you're like, okay, we're going to work really hard. And if we do well at the end, we get a churro.
It's a nice little reward. Yeah. Good.
They're pretty good.
Well, what's all right, so the next couple of weeks, what are they looking like? You guys have some downtime? Are we going to be filming some podcasts? We have
Yeah. Definitely have a little bit of downtime. We
Let's
don't have
go.
a tournament for a
Where
while.
are we going next?
What?
Where are we going next?
What do you mean?
What's our next flight?
Oh, we're going to South Dakota.
I knew it. I was like, I'm going to guess South Dakota just by how excited
like-
she is, but
I was like, oh my goodness,
Sioux
where are we
Falls?
going?
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah.
We were going to Sioux Falls.
What are you doing up there?
Well, I was going to go to just like see all of my family.
Yeah, figured
but it's
that.
also kind of like a big appreciation for all the people and family and friends and everybody that's just been tuning in and watching because we don't really get to see them ever.
Yeah.
And so I was like, Kristen, I think it would make everybody's day if they got to see you even more than me. But would you want to come to Sioux Falls?
So you guys need your media team to come too, right? So it's
Yeah.
okay. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. But I'm just saying.
If you want to collect a rock from Sioux Falls too, we can.
I think that's the
get
move.
that.
I think we need it for the shelf. Yeah, that's. I mean, how else? We have to make a collection. That's good.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, you guys are always everybody's welcome.
Is it
South
cold
Dakota.
up there for real right now?
Oh, gosh.
Already?
Yeah, I'm
It's a little
cold.
concerned.
It's already getting
Well,
cold.
it's like, and then my dad is over here, like, he was like, oh, we can do a hayrack ride. And I was like, a hayrack ride? Kristen's going to be way too cold. And she's like, what's a hayrack ride? And I'm like, welcome to South Dakota.
Explain it. What is a hayrack ride?
You get like a bed,
Yeah,
like
okay,
a
we did that in
trailer
New
bread
Jersey,
thing.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then you have hay, and those
You
are
just-
like your seats.
yeah,
And then
you
you just
sit
like
on it
have
and drive
drinks.
around.
And so we were going to go to a winery and go on the hayrack ride to the winery.
Wow, yours are way cooler than mine in New Jersey. Like people like drive you through fields and try to scare you and all that kind of stuff.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I don't do scary.
Oh wow, yeah,
no.
your sounds
Yeah.
way better. I
Yeah.
like that sound better. Yeah, we just called them hay rides, and it was just like you would just get on that thing, and they would try to like send you down these little paths, and like people would jump out and
Oh,
scare
gosh.
you and do all that stuff.
Yeah,
I was
no,
like,
no,
oh.
thank you.
I guess that would be a haunted hay ride. or
We do the
whatever, yeah.
fun version, the
Yeah.
lighthearted version of that.
That's why I want to go to Sioux Falls right there. If we're doing those
Ideal.
things, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
goodness.
Well, good stuff. If there's, are there anything else that you guys want to talk about? Barbie and Chaparrita?
No.
Ooh, chaparita.
Papalita.
We're gonna get some
No.
T-shirts made of those. Like that's good.
Oh my gosh. I think it's hilarious that everybody's like, Taryn, I have to tell you what they call you. It's Barbie. And I'm like, yes.
We're gonna have Mikey like Photoshop you into a Barbie,
Barbie.
doll. Yeah,
Oh
that'd
my
be
gosh.
great.
I
Like,
should have been Barbie for Halloween.
I mean, if
There's
you're
always
not,
next year.
I mean, wait,
No, I'm
Halloween
already,
has
I
not-
already,
oh,
I
you're
already got it.
committed.
I already got another outfit. I'm so excited.
Let's go. Well, this is probably. Are we gonna film again the next week? Let's.
Yeah.
All right, then we got time. Don't give away your outfit.
I'm
though.
not going to.
I could tell
Yeah.
you weren't. Yeah, you were holding that one close to your chest. Yeah, you're not letting.
I've been planning this one for
Are
a
you guys
couple
doing it
years
together?
now.
Are you guys doing it together?
We
It
are.
is a joint thing.
Get out of here! You guys are
Do you
doing
have a
something
guess?
together.
You have a guess?
There's no way. If he would guess that,
All right, give
that would
me
be
a category.
insane.
Can we give me something? Give me like a small clue.
It's
a
two.
small and tall. Small,
it's a
small and tall.
I
Tall
knew it
tales.
was small and tall. I knew it had something to do with that. Obviously.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna think about it.
Yeah, you have time.
Yeah, I'm gonna think about it,
We'll get
yeah.
your answer on the next one.
I like it. I'm gonna start just poking around and just finding out answers, and then just pull it out live and just be like, "Yep, I knew this all along."
We'll see.
Well, episode 5 was amazing. Thank you guys for being here and continue doing your guys' thing. This was great. I love doing these episodes with you. I'm sure your listeners are loving this, following along with the journey and everything. It's been great.
Well, we love
Thank you
them.
so much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you guys for all the support.
Yes.
We out.
Bye, Chaparita.
Bye, Barbie.
Sometimes I think about it.